Mr. Cap, I also started out my small company with a C corporation, and for the exact same reasons, changed over to an S corp. But you know, coming from Illinois, we just took the largest tax increase, individual tax increase, state taxes in the history of the state. Corporate tax rates also went up. You know, and I find it very interesting that some folks around believe that higher taxes are going to actually help unemployment and then also help the revenue funds of states or the country per se. But in Illinois, for example, since the largest tax increase of the history of the state happened, we've already lost over 89,000 jobs in Illinois. So, you know, the thing that's nice about being small business folks is that we get it. And with us starting up our business, one of the fears that I have is that a lot of the small businesses, including myself, had I not been able to put that money back in to my business and invest into it, I don't know if I would have made it. And my fear is that as we continue to want to tax the job creators, you know, it's going to be a problem for the guy that's sitting in his garage trying to figure out how to get this thing off the ground. You know, and what are we doing to our Steve Jobs guys? I mean, look at Apple Computer. I mean, it's just amazing the process. And one of the things that's very scary to me, I'm fresh in. I came straight from the restaurant business to Washington, D.C. And a lot of times in Washington, we tend not to look at the unintended consequences. In business, we're forced to look at, if I'm going to, you know, make an investment into my business, I look at 10 years as to how this is going to either adversely or you know, how it's going to affect our business. So I think that that's something that's very, very important. And I think when we do any type of tax reforms, we do have to be careful because we see a difference here between the two businesses. You know, he's buying vehicles and you're buying a lot of equipment for inside. So I think that it's one of those where you come in with the scalpel. You be very careful on how you do. I mean, because the write-off of the equipment is pretty imperative. But at the same time, I think that the key thing that I'm hearing here is basically you know, give us a little leeway here, you know, and I think it's great, and I give all of you credit for coming here today because I think that if we were to listen to the small businesses a little bit more, as I call them, the final 3 feet, the people that are actually putting people to work. But sorry for the rant. But what I wanted to do is just, Mr. Cap, when you talked about the 01 tax breaks, can you tell me a little bit more specifically on how that affected your business?
Specifically in the 01 tax breaks?
Yeah. Like what was different from prior to 01? How it helped you, or?
I think, you know, it allowed us to take a look at equipment and other things and really, you know, gave us more incentive to push, you know, equipment back or money back into the business to grow the business and buy the equipment that we needed to create the jobs was the primary thing.
Okay. You know, I guess this is kind of a pretty simple question. I think I already know the answer, and I'm going to just kind of roll right down the line here. Do you believe that more regulation from the federal government and higher taxes is going to help you create more jobs?
The answer to that is absolutely not. We have so many people in our company now that are, at least part of their job is dealing with regulation, and it seems to be getting more and more and more. And when I got people that I'm paying to deal with regulation, they're not doing productive things, making the business grow, focusing on customers, things like that. So the answer to that, absolutely.
Well, obviously, I mean it's a no-brainer answer. But we've ended up hiring an OSHA compliance staff person just to make sure that we are in compliance with OSHA. Now that's outside of the scope of this process, but obviously it hurts. If you think about it, tax accountants are really the whole tax code is a full employment act for accountants.
That individual that you hired, what is the cost to your company on that, sir?
About $60,000 a year.
$60,000, but we created a job. Is that correct?
That's right.
Your question kind of is, hi, I'm from the government. I'm here to help you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would definitely we would not be in favor, nor anyone in our industry.
Yeah, the only thing I think I would comment on is one could think of a lot of the regulations as in effect are imposing in some form additional taxes, additional expenses, additional time spent by entrepreneurs on complying with those regulations. So that's kind of a way of thinking about holistically the regulatory and tax environment as they're two sides of a similar coin.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for your time, Chairman.